Dwayne "Dog" Chapman is a well-known person in the world of bounty hunting. Dog's exciting activities have charmed TV viewers all over the world with his over-the-top bursts, signature hair, and family drama. Dog's personal life, on the other hand, hasn't been as easy. He lost his wife, lost touch with family, and was given divorce papers while he was in jail. Keep watching to learn about these things and a lot more. Dog likes women. There was a time when Dog said, "I like women too much to settle down." He's been married 6 times and split 4 times. He was married to LaFonda for 5 years before she filed for divorce. Dog married Ann Tagnell after only 2 years, but they split up after only 3 years of marriage. He got married to Lissa Ray Britton that same year, even though she was already married to someone else when they met. They were together for almost 10 years. It was Tim Chapman who became his second wife. They met when he caught her on the job in 1988. There was a wedding in 1992 between Tawny and this man. After splitting up in 2002, Dog finally married Beth in 2006. He'd been seeing her off and on since 1986. Cancer of the throat. In 2017, it came out that Beth had been identified with throat cancer in its 2nd stage. Dog and Beth said she would have surgery to fight the disease, and they talked about the painful event in a special show called Dog and Beth Fight of Their Lives. This story had a sad finish. Even though Beth fought with all her heart, Beth passed away in 2019 at the age of 51 from her cancer. Her last dream was to be burned and have her ashes spread out in different places. Dog agreed to the burning, but he couldn't do what she asked and spread her ashes out in different places. "I'm not going to throw you away. I'm just not going to throw you away and start over. I can't do that." But Dog would soon start over with someone else, which caused a lot of trouble in the family. Married 6 times. 10 months after Beth died, Dog met a new woman named Francie Frayne and asked her to marry him. His and Beth's children, Bonnie and Cecily, didn't like this, so when the couple tried to get married in August of 2021, there were fights in the family. Bonnie, in particular, made some hurtful claims about her father's racism, homophobia, and cheating. "He cheated on my mom all the time, and I hated him every time he did it. But I forgave him because I wanted a relationship with my dad." What did Dog say? Invite daughters to wedding. Dog and Francie got married in 2021, but Bonnie and Cecily weren't there. Dog denied his daughter's claims and said they were speaking on behalf of former co-workers who were trying to hurt his reputation. He asked people to pray for Bonnie and Cecily to be freed from whatever hold these people have on them. Cecily believes she and Bonnie had been turned away because their resemblance to Beth would be too much for their father to handle. "My dad's having a hard time dealing with the fact that maybe he's not going to be able to replace my mom and that me and Bonnie bring out a lot from my mom and he sees our mom in us. I just think he's too scared that we remind him too much of my mother," she stated. Dog was sued. The Dogs caught a lot of bad guys throughout the show's 8 seasons, and most of them were found guilty. What takes place if a thief isn't charged, though? That's what happened in 2009 when Dog caught Wong Ming Fung Nagayan. Nagayan was freed and not charged with any crimes after Dog turned him over. Dog still showed the scene with the arrest, though, and Nagayan lost his job and image because of it. That's why the man sued Dog for slander, and the A&E network had to pay a big fee. Father was mean. In his book, Chapman talks openly about how his father used tough love to punish him. Even though he wasn't very tall, he was picked on at school because his great-grandmother, Cochise, was part Native American. Her family was from the Chiricahua Apache group. A lot of bumps and bruises happened to him because of his father's harsh punishments and fights with other kids. Dwayne got tired of school in the end and quit after 7th grade. He talked about those times and said, "Listening to those kids call me bad names made my skin crawl. Whenever those kids teased or made fun of me, My whole body felt a huge rush of blood. I felt angry and ashamed at different times. Even though I didn't deserve to feel bad, it was hard to take. Lost his wife. Because he didn't have to go to school, Dwayne started to act out on the streets. He joined the Devil's Disciples biker gang as a prospect by lying about his age. This meant he would live a violent and troubled life. This is also when he first met LaFonda Sue Honeycutt, who would become his first wife. But when Dog went to prison for murder, everything changed. While Dog was in jail, LaFonda split up with him, took their 2 kids, and ran off with his best friend. Dog was released from prison after 18 months. He was confused and angry, and had a strong desire to get back at his ex-wife and best friend. In a strange turn of events, Dog got a job selling vacuums at a shop owned by the father of his ex-wife's new boyfriend. In prison changed. Even though there didn't seem to be any good things about Dog's term, he still made the most of it. He did outdoor work and worked as a barber in a jail. He also found faith again. "That's why I chose to give up my life of crime," he says. When another prisoner tried to flee, it was a turning point for Dog. Dog tripped him up and stopped the gun from going off as he tried to get away. One of the jail guards said, "Good job, hook him up, bounty hunter." This made Dog think of new ideas. His first arrest. Andrew Luster was an heir to the Max Factor Cosmetics Company. He was wanted on 86 charges, many of which were sexual assault, and he'd been hiding outside of the United States. Dog and his team were able to find Luster in Mexico and bring him to justice. But it wasn't just the arrest that got Dog's attention. He and his team were also arrested in Mexico on suspicion of drug involvement and because it's illegal to bounty hunt in Mexico. El Chapo's takedown. For years, El Chapo evaded capture by both U.S. and Mexican authorities. That's why the U.S. offered a $5 million reward for his capture. This amount made Dog and his team think about going after the elusive cartel leader themselves. But Dog ultimately decided he wasn't willing to take the risk because of the problems he had had in Mexico in the past. He chose to let someone else capture El Chapo. Nicolas was freed. In 2011, Nicolas Cage was in a car accident and public fight with his wife, which got him arrested for public intoxication. The actor spent the night in jail. He didn't have enough money for bail because he and his wife were having a rough time. Dog, who was a big fan of Cage, stepped in and bailed Cage out of jail. Despite his public persona, Dog did this out of pure kindness. Daughter wrote book. Dog has 9 children. In 2013, Lisa Chapman wrote an open and honest book called Walking on Eggshells, Discovering Strength and Courage Amid Chaos, in which she said that her upbringing caused her problems in life. She said that her mother was an alcoholic and Dog was hooked on crack. Lisa also said that she was willing to do anything not to go back to her home, so she lied about her dad abusing her and became a drug addict as a teen. Own business. Leland had a big fight with his family in 2012 and quit the show for good. He also cut ties with his father for a few years. They got back together, but he said he didn't want anything to do with the family business anymore. When he moved to the Big Island, he stayed in the business and used the skills he learned from his dad to start his own bail bond company. He also managed Bounty Hunter Tactical Supply Company. In 2015, Leland and his wife decided to split up. Bail bonds business. Dog Chapman is a good dad because he taught his kids the family business and then let them choose their careers. His son, Dwayne Lee, who's named after his dad, also carries on the family business. Dwayne runs his own bail bonds company in Florida and lives and works in Jacksonville, where he also has his own family. Dog must be very proud of his sons for choosing to stay in the family business. Dog getting death threats. As you might expect, Dog's job made him a lot of enemies. In 2012, one of those enemies started sending threatening emails to Dog and his family. No one has said who the emails came from, but many people think they came from someone Dog met while he was in prison. The threats were so horrible and violent that the FBI decided to look into them, but they weren't able to catch the person responsible. Keeps having children. Dog has been a father to 13 children throughout his life. However, it can be hard to keep track of them all. For example, Dog didn't know about his first child until the boy's mother died. He had 2 more children with his first wife. He had 3 more children with his second and third wives. He didn't have any children with his fourth wife. Finally, he had 2 children with Beth. Whole Chapman family. Being on TV changed the Chapman family's lives for the better. Before the show, they were a family who tried their best to stay on the right path in life. Even though they had problems with drama and money, the money they made during the show's run made sure that the younger members of the family could live better lives. Samuel, one of Dog's nephews, lives in Florida and often posts pictures of his fancy cars and great life. People love animals. Along with their many children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren, the Chapmans are also huge animal lovers. They have a cat named Plum, a bulldog named Lola, a boxer mix named Roxy, and another dog named Duke. It's great to see 2 people who can run a business and still have time to care for so many pets. Choice to start over. Dog Chapman had a daughter named Lissa while he was married to Lissa Ray Britton. Lissa lived with her father until she was 10 years old when she moved to Alaska to live with her mother. Later, Lissa moved to Hawaii to work for the family business, but that didn't last long either. Lissa was charged with assaulting a police officer and criminal property damage, so it looks like she's decided to stay out of trouble. Chapman lost his life. Tim and Dog both have the same last name, Chapman, but they're not related. Tim, also known as Youngblood, was Dog's best friend and one of the main characters on Dog the Bounty Hunter. He was on the show for years before he disappeared. It was later found that Youngblood quit the show to fix family damage. In 2008, Youngblood was arrested for making terrorist threats, but was found not guilty in 2009. Since then, he's been living a quiet life. Cannot come to the UK. Dog and Beth have tried to enter the UK twice, but were turned away both times. The first time, Dog tried to enter so he could be on a season of Celebrity Big Brother, but was turned away because he was convicted of first-degree murder. 2 years later, Beth tried to enter the UK to be on a reality show, but she was also turned away because she had a shoplifting charge from her younger years. Prison in 1976. In the 1970s, Dog's life was full of problems. One night, he got into a dangerous situation that had bad results for him. Dog said he wasn't even there. He was waiting in the car, but he was still charged with a crime and given a 5-year sentence. But even that short time was enough for something bad to happen to him. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon,